New Assassin Joy has been released on the advanced server, and with high difficulty she did have many weaknesses. So let's kill our curious mind and find out about the weaknesses of all Assassin in this video. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video I will tell you guys some interesting tricks to counter Assassin and also mention the weaknesses of every Assassin in MLBB. Joy will soon be released and she will be one Assassin that will be popular as it is very hard to use her. We have made a gameplay video of her too, so if you were not aware, you might want to check that video. I will take the link in the top right corner. For now, Joy will be very weak to Khufra, Akai, Minsitar and Phoveus. Her dash does have immunity, but it just cannot counter the mentioned heroes. It is very easy to sidestep her abilities, so you might want to relax a bit for further update on the hero. Because I am sure many other skills effects are yet to be changed. By the way, do you guys know SABER was the first assassin of MLBB? So let's start the video with him. His main feature is that he can penetrate armor with his passive, making it easy for him to eliminate the target. You all know SABER's basic combo is using the first skill and ultimate. This gives the most damage output from his ultimate. And without his ultimate, he is just a sitting duck in most team fights. You can counter his flying swords using Lolita as she can just absorb it all. Not only that, when using tanks, you can also counter him using items like Anti-Cuirass, which lowers his damage to allies. And when using MM or Mage, you can also use Immortality or Wind of Nature to survive his combo damage. Let's move on to our lovely lad GUSION. He is one of the most crazed assassin of all time. First, let's talk about his advantage. He has lots of dashes and blink skills, plus he has burst damage. So first I will talk about some basic tank counters, and for that you guys can consider Khufra, Minsitar, Phoveus and Lolita. Khufra, as you all know, can make his life miserable by countering his dash skills. And Lolita can absorb and shield her teammates from his daggers. These heroes just can make GUSION cry in the corner. But not only that, his worst nightmare can be when you guys build Athena's shield combined with radiant armor. So GUSION feels pretty weak if MM and mages get Athena's shield, and I would suggest you guys build both if you are a tank user. FANNY is one of the hardest assassin of all and is now one of the most picked and banned heroes. Her strength is being effective in the very early game and dominating the enemy. She is weak against heroes like Khufra, Franco, Akai, Kaza and Chu that can even root her down even when she is using the cables. She also needs her buff to be effective on the ganks. So this makes her vulnerable when enemies manage to steal the buff. Using an MM, you can defend against her using the Wind of Nature. And when using Mage, I would suggest you to go for the Winter Truncheon. Immortality will also be a great choice for any hero, so if you are up for a more defensive build, you might want to keep this an option. She has to be fast and precise in dealing damage and move out in seconds. So if you have these items, it does act as a disadvantage. Next, we will talk about LING. LING, being another buff dependent hero, is also greatly known for his mobility and quick burst damage. And like FANNY, he too is weak against Khufra, Franco, Akai, Kaza, Chu, Minsitar and Phoveus. If you are looking for a build counter, as a tank you should build the blade armor to reduce his crit damage. And if you are picking MM, go for the Wind of Nature to be immune to his physical attacks. Mages can opt for Winter Truncheon as usual, because why not? I mean, it works as a counter to everything. Do you guys know we are just 5k subs away from 950k subscribers and 20 epic skins giveaway are waiting for you. If you want to be part, then just like and share the video and subscribe to our channel Kazuki Official. Following we have KARINA. KARINA has the advantage in fast movement speed and she also has one short burst ultimate. CC effect is her weakness. Also, if you play KARINA, you will know that she is very squishy and you can burst her out with a proper damage build. And also, Athena's shield makes you take lower damage from her. You can build Athena's shield with any hero to reduce her damage. Hayabusa has fallen down in being effective in the current tank meta, and that is also his weakness, being matched up with high HP heroes. He can be countered by CC effects and by heroes like Franco and Kaja's suppress effects. And also you can build Wind of Nature for MM and Winter Trenchant for mages. A thing to note, though Haya's ultimate is skill based damage, building Anti-Cuirass will not work, because Haya's ultimate considers him to be in the immune state and does not trigger Anti-Cuirass passive. Selena has been playing a major role in competitive matchups. This is due to her annoying stun arrows and her massive effectiveness in the early game. You can counter her using any CC tanks. Also, Lolita can just eat her arrows, which makes Selena a little bit ineffective against Lolita. Like every assassin with magic damage, her weakness is Athena's shield, making Selena's burst damage useless. Following that, we have NATALIA, and we all know how sneaky she can be. Hylos will be one natural counter to her. Other than that, you can have Franco or Kaja root her down and gangbang her. She is also very weak against burst damage heroes like Beatrix and GUSION, and it will purely depend on how the player utilizes her. Being in a group can be more beneficial if we are using MM or mages. From spells, you can use Purify to get away from her silence effect. If you are thinking about a build solution, I would highly suggest you to build Blade Armor to reduce Natalia's crit damage. You can try some active skill builds like Wind of Nature and Winter Trenchant as well. Lance is another very popular assassin which gets stronger the more he dashes. So he's pretty weak against Kufra's second ability, Minsitar's ultimate, and Phovia's just feast on his skills. Apart from Lance's second skill, he cannot use other skills against these heroes, making him pretty weak against them. You can use Anti-Cuirass against him, which will make his first and second skill weaker. You can also sidestep by yourself to avoid getting damage by his skills. Hellcut, our own OG silencer, has fallen behind. But he will still manage to get many heroes when caught off guard. He is very weak against CC heroes as sustain is not his best feature. Also, like every other projectile skills, Lolita can eat Hellcut stingers too. Building Blade Armor will be very effective against him. And you can also build Wind of Nature or Winter Trenchant depending upon the hero you are using. Plus, the silence effects can be countered by Purify. HANZO is a unique hero, but you all know his weakness, that is his body. You might not be surprised when I tell you that his fellow assassins are the ones that can be his great counter. Heroes like FANNY, HAYABUSA, LANCELOT, LING, NATALIA, and even Harley and Kadita can be his best counter. For builds, use Immortality, Wind of Nature and Winter Truncheon and try to time it right. Benedetta is another assassin that is built more like a fighter to sustain ganks. She uses her dashes to dive in and out. This makes her weak against heroes like Phoveus and Mincetar. So you might want to pick Khufra, Franco, Phoveus and Mincetar against her dashes. And to sustain against Benedetta, you might want to take Anticurious, Wind of Nature and E1 Winter Truncheon as active skills. And the last assassin will be AAMON. With similar characteristics to Natalia and GUSION, he is very weak to a fighter like Ruby as he has to dive very close to the mark and hit the target. Not to forget, Lolita will also be able to counter his projectile skills. He is also a burst damage hero, so for build counters, you can go for Athena's shield or radiant armor. Also, the Winter Truncheon helps when he marks you using the ultimate. So in summary, burst magic damage assassin is weak against Athena's shield. And burst physical skill based assassin are weak against Anticurious. It is always better to build Immortality, Wind of Nature and Winter Truncheon when facing assassins, because ultimately this will give you an upper hand. If you have any doubts or disagreements regarding the counters, do comment down. And I will look up to your suggestion and thoughts. Also, we are so close to our giveaway. Do like, share and subscribe to join it. And that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.